Hi, this is Matthew. I'm going to talk about the next Chicago album in 1979 called Chicago 13. We're back to numbers again on that, so we're back to that. I'm trying to think where this one was recorded. Did it say where it was recorded? This is the last album with Donnie Dacus. He's apparently fired for no reason. No one is given. We went to Moulin Heights, Quebec, and Hollywood is where it was. There is no, I guess is let go after this for no reason is given apparently why that happened. But he leaves the band and isn't on anything past this. He's a pretty good guitarist, though. Got to number 21, so it did pretty well, though. Reviewers didn't like it. Every band member helped write on it. There's definitely some different vocals. I do like the album. There's some disco. The first track I do like a lot. But yeah, nothing really charted or anything. No singles really did anything, but I liked it anyway. It was a nice album. I wouldn't mind hearing it on vinyl someday if I could find it. This sounds good on the vinyl sound to me, whatever that means. But it does. It really does. Sounds really, really good to me. Anyway, really enjoyed it, especially the big long disco track, because it's my favorite trumpet players on it, which we'll get to in just a minute. We have side one. We start with what I'm talking about, Street Player, written by Daniel Serafine and David Lewinsky, vocals by Peter Cetera, and in the horn section is Maynard Ferguson, the excellent high range screechy brass trumpet player who I love to death, and he's on the track, which is wonderful. I'm sure there'll be the additional musicians, I hope, anyway. But yeah, that's a fun track, just for that alone. There's so much percussion going on. It's quite good. It's 9 minutes and 11 seconds. Then we go to Mama Take. Written by Peter Cetera, performed by Peter Cetera. Regular link there. And then Must Have Been Crazy. As Donnie Dacus wrote that one, and he sings it. And then we have Window Dreamin'. Also Prayers Later, and Lila Main wrote that one. Peter Cetera sings it. And we jump then to Paradise Alley. Robert Lamb wrote that one, and Donnie Dacus sings it. Then we jump to side 2, and we continue with Aloha Mama, written by Daniel Serafine, the Lewinsky person. Peter Cetera sings it. And then we have Reruns, written by Robert Lamb, and he sings that one. So there he is, finally. Then we have Loser with a Broken Heart, written by Peter Cetera. Peter Cetera sings it. And then a couple more tracks here. Life is What It Is, written by Lola de Oliveira, and somebody named Marcus Val. Peter Cetera sings that one. And then we have Runaway by James Pankow, wrote that one. And Peter Cetera and Donnie Dacus sing that one. Our bonus tracks for the 03 reissue are as follows. We have Closer to You, written by Dan Dacus and Stephen Stills and Warren Schwitke. Stephen Stills did perform that one. I forget who did Street Player. But yeah, that was a Stephen Stills thing. I think he had done some work with Stills. Donnie Dacus. I forget who Street Player was done by somebody else too, and that one got sampled a bunch of times. Back to Street Player for a second. He sings that one. And then we have the dance mix of Street Player. It clocks in at 8 minutes and 44 seconds, so the other one's a little longer. I couldn't tell the difference, but I like that track. We have, of course, Peter Cetera bass lead and backing vocals for Chicago. Donnie Dacus guitars lead and backing vocals. Actually, he's a pretty good guitarist as far as solos go and stuff. I kind of like his. It's no Terry Kath, but I did like it. Lado de Oliveira is percussion again. Robert Lamb on keyboards, leading backing vocals. Neil Levine trumpet and backing vocals. Needs pico, trombone, and brass arrangements, as always, sir. What's the Perazzator on woodwinds again, and Dennis Serafine on drums. It's going to be sad when this lineup disappears, because I really like this lineup. Is so good. They can play anything. As I said, anything they play to me sounds good. They could be grass growing. It would be good. Additional personnel, we have PC, and it is MOBLEE, PC Mobile. Oh, ha. Okay. Peter Cetera is pulling a funny one on us. He comes up as PC Molini, lead vocals and leader Dreamy and Aloha Mama. Mobley was actually Peter Cetera singing in a lower register. His appearance is credited as Peter of the Peter Cetera Vocal Company. Haha, sir, you're being funny. That's why I didn't recognize. He's trying to sing in a lower register. Weird, but interesting. Thank you, Wikipedia, for that tidbit. David Hawk-Lewinsky, a synthesizer on Street Player, of course. Oh yeah, he's as a writer. Yeah, okay, so yeah, that's right. He's played on some other ones and he's done some writing. That's true. Okay. I keep forgetting who that guy is. Arita Maria, percussion on Street Player in Paradise Alley and Life It Is and Runaway. Okay. Manny Ferguson, trumpet soloist on Street Player. Abso-freaking-lutely he is. And he does some other horn rhythms as well in the background. So good. So I don't know how he got... I know he was a Columbia label mate. And he is from Canada. And I think he is from Montreal, I think, originally anyway. Rest in peace, sir. I miss you so much. Oh, I miss him so much. Died in 2006. I really, it's been 20 years. I can't believe he's gone. Been gone 20 years, just about. Oh, how sad. So good. If you go check him out, like anything he does. I recommend though the Columbia stuff. When he had his big band that was British, I think at least 70 to about 74, 75-ish. I think is that period. Maybe a little after, but that's the period that I remember. And I first heard him ever do a guy, one of my scout leaders had a tape he made of me from his vinyls of Maynard back in 96 or so. Good stuff. That is it. But oh, what a wonderful addition to that album is Maynard. Our technical people. Appears by Phil Ramone in Chicago, like last time, so he came back. Production assistant Michelle Michael Slachter, I'm not quite sure. Not sure how that's pronounced. Engineered and mixed by Jim Boyer. Assistant engineers Nick Laguna, Roger Ginsley, and John Billy Jones, and Bradshaw Lee, and Peter Lewis and Robert Whelan. Mastered by Tim Jensen at Sterling Sound, New York again. Cover design and concept was Tony Lane. Logo design Nick Frichetto, of course, credited for that logo. Back cover and sleeve photography, Gary Heary. And that is it. So yeah, I think a very solid album, despite it not having any hits on it per se. Though I think surely Street Player filled the dance floors and discos in '79. Surely somewhere. Surely somebody featured that. I don't know, I really like it. I know there's a lot of other disco songs back then, but it would be just a nice dancey thing that you didn't have to worry too much about. And I really liked that one. I don't know, I'm sorry. I guess because Maynard Ferguson's on it, I'm more partial to that song, but I got to see him twice. Once in '97 was a cancellation gig that sprung up, and my mom spotted. And then there was we have a high school here in town that had a fundraiser for some work they were getting done at the schools. Different things were happening. They had a fundraiser, and he was the featured performer. I don't know what else was going on that day, but that auditorium had been built with some voting we'd had done when I was a senior in high school, right before I was able to vote. They did this. Wait, hang on. No, I did vote for it. I got to vote for that one, but I didn't get to. Hang on, how did that work? I'm thinking my high school with the band area. I saw it after. No, this was an earlier voting legislation we had, and they built a new auditorium, and that was where this was done, if I'm not mistaken. That was a scheduled gig. But the other one was a little bar downtown, and I got to go. My brother went too. My mom had kind of found back that I was blind and was trying to get us tickets, which she did do, and I got to meet Maynard. I played trombone. That was a thrill to just even talk to him for a second, and I guess he just said, keep doing what you're doing, and talk to me for a second. It was very, very cool, and got to meet some of the band. And the second gig, I got CDs both times, but the second one, I know I got some guys to sign it. And I don't remember if anyone signed it or not. My other one, did he sign that one? I'm not sure, but I know Gatson Benmore signed another album, too. But a fun little tidbit there. I got to see him, and yeah, I knew he played on the track because his website, they were audio clips back in the early 2000s, and that was one of the clips of him playing. Was Street Player. I'm like, oh, neat. And I got to hear the whole thing for the first time. I knew this was on. I knew this track was somewhere, but I hadn't investigated like I should have. But I'm so glad I got to hear it now. And when you will know when he plays, you will know what he sounds like. He sounds something like the other horns, nothing like them. It's quite a sound that he could produce back then. When I saw him, he was much more of a conductor. He did play, but played very, very sparingly. Sang a little bit, but he was much more of conducting the group of other guys that were doing what he would have done originally. But he does play a bit. I miss him dearly. He was a wonderful player. I loved listening to him. Still do. He's also on Apple Music. At least most of his 67 onwards is there. There's a little bit of earlier stuff on a couple of collections, and anything he did. There's some stuff he did with like Woody Herman and Stan Kenton and stuff that is available. A fun one from Kenton called "This Is an Orchestra." I forget the album name, but it's a track where he just introduces his band members, and Maynard plays a section of very high trumpet. There's also a very low trombone note in there from another guy. But that's a fun little album. The track is "This Is an Orchestra." I forget the name of the album, but my private teacher who taught me trombone, he played trumpet, but that's why I got into all this. Well, Maynard Ferguson was somebody else, but other things were this man who taught me trombone privately when I was in band. He showed me that, and I'm like, oh, that's neat. He did show me that. I actually borrowed it and made a copy because I didn't want to not be able to hear that track again. It was a good album, 51 or 52, something like that. But yeah, enough about Maynard and his brief stint with Chicago. I would love to know how that happened. Does anyone know how that came about? I've never heard. I'm assuming it was they just happened to maybe be in the same studios because they were in Montreal, so maybe he was recording something and they caught up with him. I don't know. I've not heard Not sure I can look that up either, and I've not read any books on this band. I need to find one. Really nice, comprehensive one up to at least fairly recently, and read about the band because I want to know. I think that will do it now. We'll go next time to 80 with Chicago 14 and see who replaced Donnie Dacus. What was going on? I looked at that. There's nothing I know off of it, so I don't know what to expect from Chicago 14. 16 I know is when the big hits from 82. They get more poppy and the horns go away and it's ballads, and not that they're bad. It's different. And of course 15 is going to be the greatest hits that I'm going to have to just mention because I can't find it anywhere. I'm not done looking, but I will try to find 15. I've seen it in the stores back in the day. I didn't grab it. Didn't get a chance to. But yeah, that will do it for now, though. Next time will be an 80 for Chicago 14 in the next video.